Smith in right, Duffy at third, Bowers at first. In the middle is Wendell at second, Choi at the DH, Kevin Kiermaier in center. Willie Adames is a shortstop, Brandon Lowe in left field, and Michael Perez, the catcher, is batting ninth.
Well, that lineup's going to face Luis Cessa, who's finished with his warm-up tosses. He's ready to go. The 1-2 record, 4.50 ERA. Take a look at our pitcher scouting report on Cessa. Here we go again. It's going to be his ninth appearance, fourth start. His last big league start, 5 shutout innings, and he's working on 7 days rest.
And the first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Jordan Baker is the home plate ump. Jerry Lane at first, Greg Gibson at second, and Nick Lentz is over at third. Right field, giving chase is Walker, and he comes down with it. One away.
Well, you see the big smile on the face of Neil Walker, obviously not an outfielder by trade, but he's handled himself well in right field. Gets a good jump, a little bit of a leap, nice concentration, and a nice play.
So here's Duffy. 0-1.
Well, for Luis Cessa, you think back to July 25th when he faced the Rays. He was dominant for 5 innings. Made 1 mistake in the 6th, a 2-run home run to Kiermaier. Probably his best big league start.
Rays are 60 and 59. Yankees 75 and 44. And the 3-1 pitch. Upstairs and a walk to Duffy. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense, which is presented by Geico. In the outfield, Gardner, Hicks, and Walker. That's left to right. Infield, Andujar, Gregorius, Torreyes, and Bird, third to first. Romine behind the plate, and Cessa is on the mound.
Cessa having a little trouble locating his breaking ball, and again you go back to that July 25th start against the Rays. He did not walk a Rays batter. Got into the 6th inning, and there were some question marks about Aaron Boone. Why did you let him go out for the 6th? Well, he dominated through 5 and then made 1 mistake in the game. Getting another opportunity against Tampa Bay tonight.
Bowers, 1 for his last 19. One and 2.
Well, Cessa bringing the velocity early, 97 miles an hour, so got some good pop.
Two and 2.
His last start in AAA at Scranton was 7 days ago, so he's off his normal routine. You'd expect the location to be off a little bit, and it has been here in the first.
Three and 2 on Bowers. So do they have Duffy running? 3-2 and 1 out.
A good changeup by Cessa. Just miss. Home plate umpire Jordan Baker does not give him the call. Austin Romine trying to figure out the strike zone early. Looks like they're going to go with a fastball 3 and 2.
Duffy goes. Swing and a foul ball.
It's interesting pitch selection here, 3-2. With a hitter like Bauers who's struggling. You mentioned, Michael, the struggles he's gone through lately. If Cessa can throw a breaking ball for a strike, you're probably going to get a strikeout. Possibility of a double play on the strike him out, throw him out. Austin Romine just trying to figure out, do I have a pitcher who can go off speed for a strike? He doesn't think so. Fastball away.
Runner goes again. Served into left field and deep. Going back, Gardner still back. He's on the track. He'll make the play in front of the wall. Duffy retraces his steps and heads back to first. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 88 degrees, 49% humidity, not much wind, mostly sunny and warm. Really nice day. Here's Joey Wendell. Since July 1st, second in the majors in batting average, actually tied with Mookie Betts. High fly ball, deep right center. Backing up is Hicks, and he makes a play in front of the track for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Tampa Bay Rays nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Alexis. Brett Gardner's in left field. The DA Giancarlo Stanton bats second, hitting third. Center fielder Aaron Hicks. Didi Gregorius at short. Third baseman Miguel Andujar. Greg Bird at first. Neil Walker's in right, batting seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher Austin Romine. And in his first game in the big since June 14th, Ronald Torreyes is back. He's at second base.
Manager Aaron Boone sending that lineup out against the right-hander Jake Faria, who's finishing up his warm-up tosses. We'll take a look at his numbers. He's missed a lot of time because of an injury. 4-3, 4.97 ERA. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He is actually a starting pitcher. He's not an opener. He's a starting pitcher, but he hasn't pitched as a starter in 84 days because of an oblique strain. So he gets another opportunity in the rotation, and he splits the difference with a good split finger fastball, a 143 batting average against that pitch.
Matt Duffy, when he came out to play defense, was met by the athletic trainer and Kevin Cash. Had a long talk. Remember, Duffy was on first base. So after this talk, they leave him in the game. Here's Brett Gardner. First pitch is outside, 1-0. The Yankees have won their last 12 home series against Tampa Bay. So if they win tonight or tomorrow, that makes it 13 in a row. Over that time, they're 29-10. Yankees lead the season series 7-6, but they're 1-5 in St. Pete, and they're 6-1 here at Yankee Stadium. It's a little bit of a home court advantage. Up the middle, grabbed there by Adames, and he gets Gardner for the first out. Why don't we take a look at the Rays defense presented by Geico? You've got Lowe in left, Kiermaier in center, and Smith over and right. Kiermaier could get it with anybody in center. Duffy, Adames, Wendell, and Bauers. That's third to first. Michael Perez behind the plate. Faria's on the mound. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Rays have three infielders on the left side for him. And there's a strike.
I mentioned Faria, 84 days since his last big league start. See the shift on Stanton. He did pitch out of the bullpen, had a few reps out there, now gets another shot in the rotation.
You know, you watch this shift, John, and then you took notice of how the Texas Rangers played Stanton. They didn't shift. I mean, how could two teams have completely different theories on how to play a guy? Texas just doesn't shift as much as most teams. And Ken Singleton thought it was because, you know, Andrus is such a good shortstop, they expect him to go get things. But now with 2 strikes, they move Wendell over to the second base side of the bag.
Tampa Bay, the Rays, so analytical, but when I think of Stanton, he drives the ball the other way. Obviously, he drives it in the air the other way. They're playing for ground balls to be pulled in the infield. Stanton is in such a good place offensively right now. I think if you're the outfielders, you should be playing pretty straight up. Right center field is wide open for Stanton right now. We saw him drill a ball to right center last night. Well, the Yankee hitters, they get so many scouting reports on pitchers, and Faria basically is a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball, and it is straight as a string. Does not have a whole lot of movement.
Perez thought it was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 3.
We saw Austin Romine in the first with Sessa. A few questionable pitches. Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, doesn't give Faria the call there.
There's strike 3, and Stanton knew it. 2-way.
It's that 3-2 count when you've seen a lot of fastballs. If you're Stanton, you're looking for another fastball, and Faria comes with a 3-2 breaking ball. That doesn't have to be dominant or overpowering. A lot of times you throw it for a strike. 3-2, you have a pretty good chance of getting a strikeout, and he did.
Here's Aaron Hicks. Hot of late, 10 hits in his last 28 at bats. Overall at 254. They shift for Hicks. 3 infielders on the right side. Second baseman on the outfield grass, and there's a strike. He checks his swing, 1-1. One and 2 on Hicks. Yankees in the middle of a season-long 11-game homestand. So far, they're 4-2, losing 1 game to the Rangers and the makeup game to the Mets. Grounded, left side. Duffy just gets Hicks, and Hicks points back to the dugout, thinking that he beat it out. So the Yankees will take a look. So before we send you to break, we'll wait and see if Hicks is right.
He is.
He is right. Another look. He's really right. And they will call for a challenge. Crowd sees it on the big screen, so they cheer.
Well, obviously, Hicks, a switch hitter hitting from the left side, gets out of the box in really good shape, which helps him. And then you got Duffy, the third baseman, pretty much shifting, playing at the shortstop position. Took him a little while to get rid of it. Maybe doesn't have quite the arm strength from short. All of that equates to an infield base hit, it looks like, for Aaron Hicks.
And they overturn the call of the first base umpire, Jerry Lane. So an infield hit for Hicks. And that brings up Didi Gregorius. Didi, 8 hits in his last 23 at-bats. Also has 20 ribbies in his last 25 games.
See what Aaron Hicks is thinking at first base. He has 8 stolen bases, only been thrown out a few times. Michael Perez behind the plate, a young catcher, has impressed the Rays with his hitting. We'll see what his arm strength looks like. We'll see if the Yankees try to challenge him early in this game.
Wilson Ramos, who did such a good job catching for the Rays and made the All-Star team, was traded to the Phillies, and tonight he's back in the lineup for the first time after an injury. He was injured when they actually traded him. Fly ball, right field. Smith is there, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 1, nothing.
I'm Meredith Marakovitz, and it's time for this evening's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Doing More. When Aaron Judge was placed on the disabled list with right wrist fracture, they were optimistic that he would be swinging a bat by this point in time. Unfortunately, that is not the case. He still does not have full range of motion. He also still has pain in that wrist. It was revealed earlier today that he went for another MRI on Monday. He also had a cortisone shot to help that healing along and help the pain along a little bit. It is going to be some time until he begins swinging, and the Yankees are not going to be able to get him back in that lineup as early as they anticipated originally. Michael, it goes without saying, they miss him a lot in this lineup. And also noteworthy, Ryan McBroom down in AAA was scratched from the lineup. He's been hitting very well as of late. 385 over his last 10 games with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. You can't help but wonder whether or not that might be another option for the Yankees.
Interesting stuff. So McBroom taken out of the lineup, either an injury, part of a trade, or being called up. And we'll see how that plays out. And we'll watch that as the game moves along. And, you know, when you say 3 weeks with Judge and now there doesn't seem to be a timetable, I guess it's a little concerning.
Oh, it's concerning. And, you know, the one thing is when you think once he can start swinging a bat as Kiermaier drives one the other way. It's like
he'll take a double.
But you wonder when he starts swinging a bat, how long is it going to take, first of all, to gain some strength that he's going to be able to drive the baseball. Then the timing of seeing minor league pitching, big league pitching, and will he be able to kind of come back and be full strength right away? That's going to be tough to do.
And there's also a timing aspect in this, John. He's got to get right and able to swing before the minor league season ends. Otherwise, he's not going to get the timing down, except maybe in some sim games,
Simulated
which isn't the same
stuff,
thing. Yeah. So a double for Kiermaier. And here's Adames, who hit a home run yesterday against Dellin Betances, the only run for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Betances tried to get ahead with a first pitch fastball, and Adames took advantage of it. And during a 7-game hitting streak at .480 batting average, I think he's obviously going to pitch him with a little more respect tonight. A first pitch slider from Sessa.
Oh, 0-2. And Adames strikes out, 2-away.
I mentioned in the first inning, Sessa had a little bit of trouble with his breaking ball and locating it, but he's found it here in the second. Good slider, Adames way out in front, and you wonder Aaron Boone's game plan with Sessa tonight. I mean, I mentioned he drew the 5 innings against Tampa's last start. Would that be the window for Aaron Boone? If I can get 5 quality innings out of Luis Sessa, I'll unload the bullpen and take my chances.
Low loops one to left field, and it is a base hit. That's going to score Kiermaier, and the bloop single and the RBI puts the Rays in front.
Well, that is his first major league base hit. A kid who was in the minor leagues and put up big numbers, but his first 19 at bats in the big leagues, he had not had a hit until this. And it's going to be a jam shot off of Sessa, and he just fights it off. Bloops it the other way. It'll be a base hit with 2 outs and a 2-out RBI to get the Rays on the board.
Throw over. One and 0 to Perez.
Perez, kind of an intriguing player for the Rays. You mentioned Ramos being traded. You see that 343 average for Perez early in his big league career. Not the biggest catcher, 5'10", 185 pounds.
And a strike. 1 and 2. And the 1-2. 2 and 2. Yankees this year have used 11 starters, and that's the 9th most in Major League Baseball. But the Major League average is 10.3 starters. That one's hit deep to right field. Going back, Walker, track, and he goes up and makes the play. Walker's made 2 nice plays in this game. Certainly not Roberto Clemente out there, but holding his own as he goes up and brings it back in to end the inning. Hey, by Walker.
I was talking to Aaron Boone about Neil Walker today, and the first thing he said to me, he looks really good in right field, kind of making the routine play. Now, you'd have to say that play was more than routine. Going up against the wall, timing his lead perfectly. Coming down with it, the right hand out, trying to feel for the wall. Another look on Yes Mo, which is brought to you by your local Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
You think that was out?
That was right at the top of the wall. I don't know if that would have got out. What do you think?
I think it would have hit the top of the wall, and I don't know which way it would bounce. If it hits the padding, it comes back. If it hits the concrete, it probably goes in. Let's see. This is a better shot. No.
Threw a little Clemente on him, huh?
And Clemente is an important part of the Walker family's life. And, you know, Neil Walker's dad was teammates with Roberto Clemente. And he was going to go on that flight to Managua, Nicaragua. And he was loading the plane, and Roberto Clemente told his dad, your family's here. You stay with your family. I'll go. And the plane went down.
Wow.
The 0-1. Another look to see if it was going out. I don't know. That one looked like it might.
Could go either way. I'm just thinking about Neil Walker. You know, a few months ago, where did he fit in on this team, right? He wasn't swinging the bat very well. Now all of a sudden, driving the baseball a little bit better, doing a nice job in right field, doing a real good job playing third base, and obviously can play second, first.
give credit to the Yankee front office because for a while he looked lost at the plate, and they refused to listen to the cries to let him go. What's he doing here? Because they knew this guy's a professional hitter. He's done it before, and they thought it was going to come around. Another one of those guys that didn't have a spring training. That one is driven deep to left field. Going back is Lau. Track, wall, see ya. Tie game. Another extra base hit for Andujar. 1-1.
Well, we talked during the open to our show last night about Andujar and how he was driving the baseball out of the ballpark. All of those doubles, now all of a sudden we're turning into home runs. Last night, he reverts back to what he does all the time. It's a couple of doubles, and tonight when you get a 3-1 fastball and a pitcher's going to come right at you, and as locked in as Andujar is, it's going to end up being his 19th of the year. We're all tied up at 1.
56 extra base hits for Andujar.
As you get a little older and you get a little more experience, you pick your spots on pitches you can really turn it loose. And obviously a 3-1 fastball, a perfect pitch to do it on.
One and two on Bird. Well, he's got to be leading in Rookie of the Year right now. Soft ground ball right side. Play is made to get Bird. That was the shortstop Adames who made the play. And here is Walker. So the Yankees get the run right back thanks to Andujar. Walker in his last 18 games is hitting .310. Strike to Walker. Dribbler in front of the plate. Perez to first, 2 away.
Looked like that split finger fastball that Farias has so much success on, a 143 batting average against. Maybe just off the side, a little cutter that just never gets there to Neil Walker off the end of the bat.
Here's Austin Romine, 4-game hitting streak, 7 for his last 18. Home run last night. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Wendell will make the play, and that'll do it. But Miguel Andujar continues his magical rookie season. Crushes this pitch into the left field seats. His 19th home run, tied the game at 1. Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Which National League rookie outfielder would you rather build around and why? Ronald Acuna Jr. or Juan Soto? Madison Mills, 28, tough call, but I would say Acuna Jr. He's dominated every minor league level. When he's been healthy in the bigs, he's shown so much already with his power, speed, and defense. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Couldn't go wrong with either of them. 1-1 game. Malik Smith takes outside from Sessa as we begin the third.
I saw that question come up on the screen. I was thinking, can we take both of them? And I thought back to the Tampa Bay Devil Ray days at the end of my time there, and they were banking on Carl Crawford, Rocco Baldelli, and Josh Hamilton being the 3 outfielders that were going to take them into the future. And obviously Crawford had a great career in Tampa Bay, and the other 2 had some injury issues and off the field issues.
But when Hamilton was able to control his demons, wow. I still remember the home run hitting contest at the old Yankee Stadium. It was magical. It really was.
So I saw Josh Hamilton as a high school senior. And I would go down to North Carolina and work out with my college coach, who was then a scout, John Castleberry. And he said, we're going to go to our workout today, but I want you to see this kid. He's going to join us for a little bit. Watch him hit in the cage. And then he got on a mound and he pitched to me. He was throwing like mid-90s as a left-handed pitcher in high school.
Line to right field. It's a base hit in front of Walker, so Smith picks up a single to start the third. Here's Matt Duffy.
Well, Smith with that base hit, getting that oven mitt on at first base. He has 25 stolen bases, so the running game a big part of Tampa's offense this year. Austin Romine's been throwing well lately. It's always a dilemma for a catcher when you have a leadoff guy on like Smith, and you want to pay attention to the running game, but you know that Sessa's focus has to be on Duffy, who's a quality big league hitter, almost 300 batting average, so you got to kind of split your time.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Smith is going to stop at second, so Duffy picks up a single. First and second, nobody out.
Yeah, all your attention is on the base runner. You throw over a few times, you throw over, and then all of a sudden you throw a fastball right down the middle to Duffy, who's going to hammer it right back past Sessa. It's supposed to be away, floats back middle in. Now you have first and second. The Rays set up for a big inning.
Here's Bowers. Fly ball to left in the first. One and 0. Smith at second, Duffy's at first. Rays have 4 hits. We're in the third inning. Still nobody out here in the third. 1-1 game. That one gets past Romine, and the runners will move up. Wild pitch.
I worked that game in Tampa when Sessa pitched, and he didn't walk anybody, and I was so impressed with how he was pounding the strike zone, working in and out, and this is just missing by more than a full plate. Romine tries to go with the backhand, can't come up with it clean. Sessa having his issues here in the third.
Yankees play the infield back, and a strike. Bowers with a fly ball to left in the first inning. 2-2. Just got a piece. Bowers is 22 years old, from Huntington Beach, California. Made his major league debut this year on June 7th. First hit, a double off of Felix Hernandez. Grounded foul. He was originally a 7th-round pick out of San Diego, or by San Diego, out of Huntington Beach, and part of a 3-team deal that brought him to the Rays. First baseman now. He played outfield in the minors as well. Just missed inside. Romine wants to have a talk.
Yeah, 97 in off the plate, clearly a ball, but I was just thinking this is going to be an interesting pitch selection with first base open. Obviously, you're thinking about a possibility of a strikeout and stranding some of those runners. You always want to stay away from that big inning. I'm sure Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, you would trade an out for a run here and then try to regroup. Changeup always a big weapon for Cessa. We'll see if he comes with a 3-2, if he has enough confidence to throw it for a strike.
Missed outside, bases are loaded. So bases loaded, nobody out. And here's Joey Wendle. Smith at third, Duffy's at second, Bowers is at first. 1-1 game. Pitch to Wendle is low. 1-0.
Well, obviously a tough spot here for Cessa. Wendle, one of the hottest hitters in the league. He runs well. He's going to be tough to double up. Cessa quickly behind in the count, 1-0.
Skied to left field. On the run is Gardner toward the line, and he can't get there as it makes the seats and then bounds out. And then bounds out again. And now stays in. One and two.
Cessa was able to get ahead of Bowers, tried to pick up a strikeout, but couldn't come up with that one big pitch to get a swing and a miss. Right here with Wendle, you have to figure out what that pitch will be. Is it the changeup down and away? He's tried to go with the slider. Hasn't been able to get any swings and misses on that pitch.
Swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout for Cessa as Wendle goes down for the first out.
Well, a huge pitch, and finally it was the slider that he was able to get the break on and the tilt down and in. You give Austin Romine a whole lot of credit here. Able to get that chest in front, keep the ball in front. Big strikeout. The double play is still in order. The possibility of picking up a Houdini act and trying to get out of here with no runs scored.
Here's Choi. Strike. That one clipped the inside corner. 47 pitches for Cessa. One and one. You pull that cap a little bit further down, John, and you have Andy Pettitte. Am I right?
Yeah, good call.
From the right side. 1-1. 2-1.
Assuming Andy's going to be around this weekend?
Yes, he will be here. Oh, what a play by Gregorius. He goes to second, on to first, not in time. A run scores. But Gregorius with a sparkler to get the out at second.
Well, there have been a couple of rockets hit at Gregorius tonight, and he's been able to come up with all of them. This one a sweet play going to his right. If you're Cessa, you're thinking possibility of a double play to get out of this inning. Great play by Didi to get there. The flip to Torreyes may be a little bit high. You can't turn the double play, but this could have been a big inning, still can be a big inning, but Gregorius making a great defensive play to limit the damage.
That was 108 off the bat. So Choi picks up a ribby. It's 2-1 Rays. Here's Kiermaier, who doubled his first time up. 1-0.
Kiermaier not having a typical year for him. The 179 batting average, only 4 home runs. One of those home runs was against Luis Cessa. He has a double his first at bat, so obviously sees the ball well out of Cessa's hands. A dangerous pitch here, 2-0.
There's a base hit for Kiermaier. Scoring is Duffy. Choi stops at second, an RBI single for Kiermaier. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay.
That has been a battle for Cessa. He's been behind in counts. He's got to give in to Kiermaier, a fastball away. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, comes out, wants to have a talk. Sometimes you just have to challenge a hitter with a fastball away, and it's down and away, but Kiermaier all over it. 2-out base hit and RBI.
No one up in the Yankee bullpen. Here's Willy Adames. First and second, 2 men out. 3-1 Rays. Strike. The 0-1. Grounded foul. And the 0-2. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. But the Rays get 2 runs, 3 hits, and 2 men left on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay. By the crowd for Ronald Torreyes, a crowd favorite, and Meredith also a team favorite. I'm sure everybody's thrilled to have him back.
They are happy to have him back, Michael, and I spoke with him in the clubhouse earlier, and he described this year as an interesting one so far. He said as an athlete, sometimes you go through a little bit of adversity, but his mindset when he was sent down to the minors was, I have to do the same thing I was doing at the major league level, keep working and give them a reason to bring me back up to the majors. He said his first couple of days down in the minors was tough, but at one point in time he remembers opening his eyes and realizing he's still playing baseball. He's still doing what he loves, and for that he is fortunate. I asked him what he thought when he finally did get the phone call again, and he said it went without saying that he was excited, and then he frantically packed because he wanted to make sure that he would get here by first pitch the other day.
And he also had some family issues, right? Where he had to step away from the minor league team.
He did, and he didn't want to elaborate too much on that other than saying everyone in his family is okay, and he is happy that they got through the situation and there were no major issues. But Michael, something else that really impacted Ronald Torreyes was the love and support he got from Yankees fans. You mentioned that he is a clubhouse favorite and a fan favorite. He said you would not believe the amount of messages he got from fans in a positive nature saying, keep your head up, we know you'll be back in the majors soon. And when he got back up here, it didn't end. He said people continued to message him and saying, we're glad you're back, you're going to do great things for this team. So pretty cool.
Nice story. Good guy.
You know what? You can say all of the positive things about being a good teammate and the fans love. He's a good player. He's a really valuable guy with all the positions he can play, and he's a threat offensively, so good to see him back.
Strike to Gardner with 1 out here in the third. One and one on Gardner. Gardner grounded to short in the first. One and two. Served into left field, a base hit for Gardner.
Brett Gardner looked a little frustrated on taking some of the fastballs that were borderline strikes. It looked like that split finger that is the strikeout pitch for Faria, but Gardner just stays on it, flips his hands and drives it the other way.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton, who struck out looking in the first inning. 3 infielders left side for Stanton. 0-1. Foul back. So 0-2 on Stanton. Stanton with 30 homers and 76 runs batted in 279. Faria steps off.
Love the fact that Stanton doesn't even step out of the box, just regroups, Locked in. Faria trying to slow him down, taking a lot of time in between pitches.
Fouled away.
Faria has one of those sliders that never really moves away from a right-handed hitter as much as you think it will, or as a typical slider will. Kind of backs up a little bit. Stanton jammed himself right there. Pretty good pitch to hit. We'll see if he gets a better read on it. He's seen a couple of the sliders in his 2 at-bats.
One and two. .41 pitches. Fouled it straight back. Right on the fastball, fouled it straight back.
He's had a couple of fastballs in this at bat, and he's had some good swings. And you're right, Michael, fouled straight back. That is right on time.
Straight back scares a pitcher off that pitch, and one of the famous instances of that in Yankee lore in 1996, Wohlers against Leyritz in the World Series kept fouling back fastballs, fouling him straight back, and finally went to his second best pitch. He hung it, and a 3-run home run. Runner goes. Fouled away. Boy, Faria really holds the ball for a long time. That's probably one of the ways he controls the running game. But in his set, probably plays against the batter. Batters don't like to wait that long.
I think that's part of the game plan. You're right, the running game, but also especially with Stanton here, seems like he's really taking a lot of time, kind of letting Stanton get in his stance and wait. You see Gardner, a pretty good jump.
Swing and a miss. So far, he's dealt with Stanton well, striking him out twice.
And the problem when you get some fastballs and you foul them off and you foul them straight back, eventually Faria is going to come with that split. He drops it in the dirt. A nice play by Perez to keep it in front. So if you're Giancarlo Stanton, you're back in that dugout thinking about the 2 or 3 fastballs you probably should have done some damage with. You watch this game and the pace of it tonight, and you think back to Jay Happ last night, how he had the baseball, throwing strikes, ready to pitch. Such a different feel tonight.
I think there is some correlation. Yeah, obviously guys that work slowly do well at times, of course. But Jay Happ was ready to pitch. He was on the rubber the entire time. Get the ball, go, get ready to throw. Didn't have many people on base other than the 4 walks. 2-0. Tenth round pick for Tampa Bay in 2011 out of Gar High School in Cerritos, California. Here's something that you didn't know about Faria, John. He travels with a rubber duck as a good luck charm.
Should I even comment on that?
I've got more. Runner goes back. He and his dad were in Arizona for a high school tournament. They gave them a goodie bag with snacks and a rubber duck. He started taking the duck with him each season and did well. Now in 2012 in rookie ball, he didn't take the duck, John. He had a 5 ERA and many injuries. Brought it again the next year in spring training. He has never looked back.
Now, you know me, I'm always going to find the negative side of any duck situation, right?
Yes, yes. Not
the
a big
guy,
duck fan.
he missed a bunch of time this year with an oblique strain. So the duck obviously is not working this year.
Do you think he should chuck the duck?
I think he should get rid of the duck.
Really?
And maybe pick up the pace a little bit.
2-1. Grounded to first. Bowers is there, steps on the bag, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left. Our first sighting of charming John Flaherty. We'll be back. Music means trivia. Devil Rays selected the aforementioned Josh Hamilton first overall in 1999. The second overall pick would later win the World Series MVP award. Who is he? There's Brandon Lau. Audi scoreboard 3-1 Tampa Bay leads. Lau looped an RBI single left field in the second inning, his first big league hit.
He's gotten off to a slow start in his big league career, but his minor league numbers this year, 76 RBIs in 100 games, 22 home runs.
Had a 400 on base percentage with Double-A Montgomery. They're called the Biscuits. From Maryland, Jonathan Holder's up. How about this, John? His last game with the Terrapins was the 2015 loss in the NCAA tournament to Virginia. And in that game, he broke his leg rounding first base. It was 2 days before the draft.
Oh.
Rays took him in the third round. And he goes down on strikes.
Well, Sessa's starting to figure it out a little bit with the slider down and in and the good break. A pitch count 62 with one out here in the fourth. Third inning took its toll, 29 pitches.
There's the strike. Lined and past the diving Torreyes into right field. So Perez with a single. Alex Smith is 1 for 2. Deep to right field. Walker back, turning, looking, see ya. Into and out of the second deck. A 2-run home run for Smith, and it's 5-1 Rays.
Well, Smith with a grin on his face, obviously not a home run hitter, only his second of the year. His game is all about speed, but Luis Cessa has labored tonight. He's been behind in a lot of counts.
And that will do it, as Aaron Boone will take the ball from Luis Cessa. He makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by your Tri-Acura dealer. So certainly not a successful outing for Luis Cessa. Here's some boos as he heads toward the dugout. Cessa, his night is over, and he gives up 5 runs to the Rays, 7 hits in 3 1/3 innings. That is not what the Yankees were looking for by any stretch of the imagination. So he's essentially replacing CC Sabathia, who went on the DL. Now CC would have started Saturday, but they maneuvered some things, and now Severino's starting Saturday, so they started Cessa tonight, and it did not work out. So here's Holder. And a strike.
Holder coming off 2 scoreless innings Sunday, trying to get back on track.
Count 1-2. Yankees don't have a day off until Monday. Then they play 2 in Miami. And then they have another day off on Thursday. That's 2 of the final 5 days off they have remaining in the regular season. So the 9 postponements they've had have certainly affected them. And when your starter gets knocked out 1 out into the 4th inning, you have to get all of these innings out of the bullpen, which impacts what you do tomorrow, an afternoon game against the Rays. That's why the 7 innings by Happ, they were so important, John.
Well, so important, and that was enabled Aaron Boone to be thinking about Cessa. Give me 5 good ones, right? And then I can unleash the bullpen and try to get the second game of the series. And then you look forward to tomorrow with Tanaka pitching, I believe. Yep, Tanaka tomorrow. But now that's out the window. You're trying to kind of keep it right here and try to get back in this game offensively. Aaron Boone admitted today to me that it's kind of that time of the year where you're going, it's a grind. You know, you got guys beat up and you're looking forward to that off day to regroup a little bit and trying to win games, obviously, every day.
Two-two, swing and a miss. Duffy down on strikes, 2 away. And here's Jake Bauers. Didi plays him almost directly up the middle. And a strike from Holder. And now Sonny Gray. And that's how you could solve using too much of your bullpen if Gray can come in and give you 4 innings, which he's certainly capable of doing. He's been stretched out as a starter. That saves your pen for tomorrow. But the last time they tried to do that, they had a 7-0 lead against Texas. And they asked Sonny Gray to pitch 3 innings, and he couldn't do it. Couldn't get out of the second inning he was supposed to work, and that forced Holder to come on and throw almost 50 pitches to get the final 6 outs of the game. So this is where Gray could really provide some value for the Yankees right here. Swing and a miss. Bowers down on strike, so Holder strikes out both batters. And Cecil wonders what went wrong. On the Audi scoreboard, Tampa Bay 5 and the Yankees 1. Didi Gregorius will lead off against Jake Faria. And a strike. One and one. So Sonny Gray continues to throw, and that's the one complication in putting a guy who's been a starter his whole life into the bullpen. How fast will he warm up? Starters usually throw 50, 60 pitches to warm up. And he's going to have plenty of time now. They started him before the inning ended. He's got this whole half inning as well, so he'll be ready.
Yeah, you bring Holder in to finish up the 4th inning, and then obviously with a starting pitcher, the time that he needs, but also starting a clean inning where you go in and it's like you treat it like you'll be a starting pitcher and give the Yankees as many innings as possible. It's a game plan.
Two. Skied the other way down the line and foul.
Well, watch Perez behind the plate, and then obviously the Rays have a 4-run lead, and Faria can just kind of come right at Didi Gregorius. Perez sitting right down the middle. Challenged Didi Gregorius with a fastball.
And a walk to Didi. That'll bring up Miguel Andujar and leads us to league leaders. Brought to you by your local Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Since the All-Star break, all Andujar has done is hit .355. Second in the American League to the A's Matt Chapman. So Snyder comes out to visit.
Well, you mentioned Andujar in the rookie ranks, first in batting average, first in slugging, now the 19 home runs, first in home runs, RBIs and extra base hits. August 15th, he'd have to be the leading rookie of the year candidate.
Here's his home run from the second inning.
Again, getting a little bit smarter with some fastball counts and making sure that you get the bat head out. Drive the baseball. 19th home run of the year for Andujar.
Didn't notice it, but a great catch by that fan in the stands. No glove and hauled it in on the fly. So the home run was his 56th extra base hit. That's the third most in Yankee history for a rookie. Yarbrough and Rowe are up. Musial's next with 57 extra base hits, and Joe D had the most extra base hits as a rookie with 80. That one is driven to center field and deep. Going back, Kiermaier, still back, track, wall, leaps, he makes the play. Heading back to first is Gregorius, and the throw is just late. What a play by Kiermaier, taking an extra base hit away from Andujar.
Well, it's what Andujar does every day, just hit baseballs hard. Gregorius kind of reading the play, and Kiermaier had a little more room in front of the center field wall than he thought. The strong throw, and Gregorius back with a head-first slide. Nice play. Another look on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers.
Pitcher has to love that. Here's Bird. And a strike. Bird grounded softly to the shortstop on the right side in the second inning. He has a very modest 3-game hitting streak, 4 for his last 16. Two and one.
His last 2 at-bats last night were positive for me. A deep fly ball to left field, and then he drove one to the gap for a double and an RBI. Kind of trying to build on at-bats here and get something going, finish up strong.
Two and two. And the pitch. Foul back. Skied the other way. A lot of sugar happening there. Three and two. Will they send Gregorius? He leads. 3-2, 1 out. Does not go. Ball 4. So Bird walks. Second walk of the inning. And that'll be the last pitch that Faria throws. 40-year-old Kevin Cash, in his 4th season as manager of the Rays, still the youngest manager in baseball, is going to go to the bullpen. Yankees have runners on first and second, 1 man out. They're down by 4. We're in the 4th. Stay here. Well, that's going to bring up Neil Walker with runners on first and second. Faria is done. 3 1/3 innings, 66 pitches. Gave up just 1 run, but the 2 runners on base, his responsibility, and he turns them over to Chaz Rowe.
Chaz Rowe back from the disabled list for the first time out since July 8th with left meniscus tear.
One and 0.
Yankees looking for a big swing at the bat to kind of get back in this thing, maybe get the crowd going a little bit. A slow start to this game all the way around.
Rose, a former first-round draft pick in 2005 by the Rockies out of Lafayette High School in Lexington, Kentucky. Actually pitched with the Yankees for 3 games in September of 2014. His great uncle, John, Bill Mazeroski.
Really?
Yeah. So the count 1 and 2 on Walker. Hit a little dribbler in front of the plate in the 2nd inning. And that hits Walker to load the bases. And that's going to bring up a Romine, and we have a G. Pitter scouting report on him.
Well, Austin Romine having a career year with the 8 home runs and the 35 RBIs. And he has that .467 slugging percentage. That's 5th best of the major league catchers with 150 plate appearances. And obviously the run producer with the 35 RBIs. That's in just about 200 at bats. If he had 600 at bats, he'd have 106 RBIs. And Romine having a big year and in a big spot here, 4th inning.
Coming into today, John, his slash line was .269, .318, and .467. The average catcher in Major League Baseball, .234, .306, .379. This is your backup catcher, so he's done a much better job than anyone could have expected.
Are we allowed to project the RBIs over 600 at bats?
You're allowed.
Is that fair? Obviously playing every day over a 6-month season, wear and tear would probably get to you at some point, but nonetheless having a big year.
Strike 3, Romine down looking. Just whispers across the outside corner.
Jake Faria was throwing so many fastballs that were straight as a string, and Rose coming in there sweeping that slider. Locates it perfectly on the outside corner.
And now a big spot for Ronald Torreyes. Popped to first in the 3rd. One and 0. coming into tonight's game, in his starts for the Yankees this year, 21 for 58. That's 362. Getting the start for the slumping Gleyber Torres at second. Chop toward third, going to be a very difficult play. Not in time. Torres beat it out. Gregorius scores. 5-2 Rays.
Matt Duffy with a really nice play, making this close. I didn't think he had any chance. Take a look at the replay.
Oh boy.
Ooh. What a play by Duffy, how quickly he got rid of it, the strong throw and the accurate throw. It looks like they got Torres.
They're probably going to overturn this. That looked like he was out.
He's out.
He's out.
Take a look at the play. Matt Duffy, not an easy play off the end of the bat for Torres, coming in, fields it with the glove, the transfer, and the strong, accurate throw. Nice play all the way around.
And they've overturned it, so he is out. So take that run off the board for the Yankees, and that will do it this inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We'll go to the fifth. Turn to John and ask you this question. Why is this sport think it's okay, because somebody's a good player and doing well against you, that you should drill him with a fastball in the back? Why is that acceptable?
Well, I'm going to take it a step further. You do it the first pitch of the game, and now you're done. Your start is over. You get thrown out of the game.
Yeah, and he clearly did it on purpose. I mean, in basketball, if a guy scores 40, do you punch him in the face?
Figure out a way to get him to stop scoring 40.
Oh, man. That's just an awful part of baseball, and it goes way back.
Our GMC scoreboard 5-1, but I have no problem throwing inside and sending a message. Hey, you're not going to be all over the plate, but clearly drilling somebody with the first pitch of the game and you're thrown out is letting down your teammates, everybody involved.
Sonny Gray takes over on the mound. First pitch to Wendell was a ball. I mean, we sit back and we talk about the glory days when, you know, people used to throw people's heads. That's not the glory days. It shouldn't be like that. It's Neanderthal. As you said, get the guy out.
Although, can you say back in the glory days they knew how to pitch in and send a little message?
Sure.
And move on?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I don't think the pitchers know how to pitch in off the plate. Send, you know, you don't have to hit anybody. Just say, listen, I'm gonna use all inside and outside of the plate, and you're not going to be able to lean out over.
Two, 2-1. 2-2. And the suspension, if they suspend Urania, should match however long Acuna stays up. And baseball can't be too pleased. This is one of the brightest young stars in the game. So a 3-2 count on Wendell, the cleanup hitter for the Rays. Right back to Sonny Gray. One away. Now we go back to Ryan Ruocco with an update. Thank you, Ryan. Good game last night, so another good game tonight. Red Sox and the Phils.
A good pickup for the Phillies, picking up that all-star catcher and coming through his first game.
Choi grounded to short into a force, but got an RBI his last time up. A splendid play by Didi Gregorius to keep it from going into the outfield. One and two. Two and two. Broken bat, looper down the right field line. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. Walker cuts the ball off, but Choi will be at second with a double.
You watch Sonny Gray coming out of the bullpen. It's pretty much two-seam fastball and slider, and this was a slider in on Choi. Shatters his bat. A great look at how it stays fair and bloops in there for a double.
One and one to Kiermaier. Two and one. Been a tough season for Kiermaier, but he's 2 for 2 tonight. Double and a run scored, single and an RBI. Fly ball. Hicks makes the catch. Choi just bluffs. All right, it's time for the answer to the trivia question. Rays selected, Devil Rays then, selected Josh Hamilton first overall in 1999. The second overall pick would later win the World Series MVP award.
Josh Beckett.
Let's see. Look at you. Look at you. Unfortunately, your college coach didn't show you Josh Beckett.
You know what team he was scouting for?
Who?
The Marlins.
Really?
So he said it was either between Josh Hamilton or Josh Beckett, who was going to be the #1. The other guy was going to be #2.
And he would have been
totally fine with Josh Hamilton.
Okay. There was never any thought to Hamilton pitching?
No, not when he came to the Devil Rays. He was strictly going to be an outfielder. But when I saw him throw off a mound in high school, if the hitting part didn't work out, which obviously it did when he was in a good place, he had a chance on the mound.
1-2 on Adames. Two and two. Runner at second, 2 outs. Sonny Gray on in relief of Jonathan Holder. Holder came on in relief of Cessa to get the final 2 outs of the 4th inning after the Malik Smith 2-run home run into the second deck and right. Missed upstairs. 3-2.
Couple of strikeouts for Adames tonight, and the Yankees have been going pretty much mainly with the slider. We'll see if Sonny Gray comes back with a 3-2 slider.
And he didn't, just missed. Just missed on Adames. So a walk, first and second, 2 outs.
We get a look from over top. It's going to be off the play. Romine tries to bring it back, doesn't get the call.
Fouled away by Lau. Lau picked up his first big league hit, a bloop single and an RBI in the second inning to left field, then struck out in the 4th. Rip foul. And the 0-2. 1-2. They need innings out of Gray right here. And he's already 24 pitches, 2 outs into his first inning. Grounded through for a base hit. Choi rounds third. Here he comes. Here's the throw. It's not in time as he stumbles home. An RBI single for Lau, and it's 6-1 Tampa Bay.
Well, Sonny Gray in this inning, it was a broken bat double by Choi. He gets himself into scoring position, and another that 6-hopper through the infield. Neil Walker comes up with a clean. Not a whole lot on the throw. Couple of hopper to Austin Romine, and Choi scores. The Rays have done a good job hitting with 2 outs in the first 5 innings of this ball game. 2-out RBI base hits.
Pitch inside to Perez. 1-2 on Perez. He's 1 for 2, fly ball to right, and a single right, and a run scored. Line drive caught by Andujar to end the inning. But the Rays score a run on 2 hits with 2 men left. We are halfway through after 4 1/2. 6-1 Tampa Bay. Good stuff. Those are the seats I used to watch the Yankee games from when I was a kid. Upper deck right behind the plate. So Raquel said yes.
She said yes, an emphatic yes.
Yeah. Wasn't even like a hesitation.
Oh, so
Hesitation's not good with that question. Here it is. Here's the setup. I got something to say to you, Raquel. Well, what's going on? Well, how about it?
Down on the knee. You have to
Nice.
do that.
That's key.
Think about it. Make a rational decision here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Congratulations. First of many more great days in their life. There's a strike to Brett Gardner at 6-1. Rays over the Yankees here in the bottom of the 5th inning. New pitcher is Ryan Yarbrough. GMC scoreboard 6-1 Rays over the Yanks. Ground ball to second. 1 away. So this will be his 30th game. It is his 30th game. 10-5, 4.16. He said, hey, I want to be a starter, but we're all willing to do anything. We'd rather be here than in Durham. Durham is their AAA farm team. He goes, and we're getting experience in the big leagues and hoping that, you know, we're here when things are great. So it's a good attitude to have when you're a young player. You do what the team tells you to do and hope it works out for the best. 2-0 to Stanton. Driven to left field and deep. Going back is wow, and it's going to hit on the wall. Stanton is going to have himself a double.
Well, Stanton had a couple of strikeouts his first 2 at bats, but some really good swings, fouling off some fastballs. Gets ahead in the count. It's a little cutter on the inner half and is able to get there pretty easily, just out of the reach of Lau.
Good backup by Kiermaier to field the carom. And here's Aaron Hicks. Hicks 1 for 2, infield single in the first, and then grounded to first in the third. Yankees have a runner in scoring position. The first pitch is outside, 1-0.
The Yankees have to start chipping away, down by 5, been a little flat offensively. The pitching hasn't been great. Start getting this crowd into this game a little bit, trying to take the second game of the series.
Foul back, 1-1. Six 9-0, leading 1-4-0. Doesn't seem, John, as if the any of the Rays pitchers work with any urgency. They don't seem like they work quickly at all.
I was talking to Austin Romine around the batting cage today again about Jay Happ last night, and he said, you know, by the time he looked up to give him a sign, Happ was already ready to come down the hill. And pitchers, if they just realize how, if you work quickly, it's such an advantage against the hitter. You're dictating the action.
The hitter almost seems as if he's being rushed.
Feel like you're being rushed. You also feel like you're being attacked when you stand in the box and look out to a pitcher and he's already ready to pound the strike zone. Such an advantage.
One, two. Fly ball right field. Smith makes the catch. Tagging is Stanton. He's going to go to third, and the throw is cut off. Now, John, you caught Steve Traxel when he was with the Rays. I mean, how much did it frustrate you as a catcher?
Oh, it's incredibly frustrating, and I would talk to Steve all the time about this. You know, you got to pick up the pace, and in his mind, he didn't feel like he was working slow. So if you don't have somebody who actually feels how painful and slow it is, it's not going to get any better.
Here's Gregorius. You know, Al Leiter said the same thing because they were teammates with the Mets, and everybody would complain, and he said, I'm not working slowly. Yarbrough is 23.9 seconds between pitches, 36 slowest out of 99 pitchers. But he has games this year where he ranges from 19 seconds between pitches to 35 seconds between pitches.
Well, when you go to the rosin bag and you drop the baseball, it's probably going to be about 35 or 40 pitches or 40 seconds.
Three and 0. Beautiful shot of the stadium. The upper deck, right field. (3-0). There's a strike. 3-1. Skied the other way, 3-2. On deck is Andujar. 6-1 Rays over the Yankees. Yankees won the first game of the series 4-1. That broke a streak of them scoring 5 runs or more here at the stadium. I believe it was 14 games in a row. And the pitch. Fly ball center field. Kiermaier will put it away for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the bottom of the 5th, but he's made some unbelievable plays in the field. Coors Light refreshing finishes. This was some play, John. And when you consider it was Delino DeShields running, it made it all the more remarkable.
Yeah, Sunday against the Rangers going to his right, and then tonight with Choi again to his right. The backhand flip to Torreyes. Not able to turn the double play, but Didi Gregorius always brings his glove. Been sparkling lately.
Second inning of work for Sonny Gray. Here's Mallex Smith. You know, CC Sabathia said something the other day, and you never really thought it until a guy like CC said it. He said, Didi has been so good, and I'm paraphrasing him, that what he did by being this good was completely stop the narrative of, gee, this is what Derek Jeter used to do. He said, you never even hear that. And he says it's no disrespect to Derek, but it shows you how good Didi is that you don't remember a guy who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer or you don't long for him.
Yeah, you quickly forget about maybe the first month or two that Didi took over, right? And, you know, some base running mistakes. Didn't get off to a great start, but ever since then has been a Gold Glove defender, and obviously the power production has been there.
And there is no way that CeCe meant that as a slight to Derek, and they're very close friends. He was just saying that it takes something to follow a legend.
We would always say as ex-teammates of Mariano and Derek, you don't want to be the guy to replace Mariano. You don't want to be the guy to replace Derek. And Didi has done it seamlessly.
And the Yankees have been lucky in that sense, because you wondered, well, how is it going to be the guy who followed Mattingly? And like Didi, Tino had an awful first month, but he was good enough that you didn't, you know, you remember Mattingly fondly, but you didn't long for him, and well, we need another Mattingly. He was that good. And moves like that is what makes a team stay good for a long time. DiMaggio retires. Oh, let's plug in Mantle. Dickey retires. Well, here's Yogi Berra. So, I mean, you have to have greatness in the pipeline. The Yankees have been fortunate to have that. But fortune does favor the prepared.
We just showed that Mattingly jersey in the crowd tonight. There's Thurman Munson jerseys all over the place. I mean, that's the greatest thing when you come here every night is what you see. There's some Munson jersey going with a Judge jersey. It's not bad.
Swing and a miss. Duffy down on strikes. Well, tomorrow afternoon on Yes, the Yankees wrap up this division series with the Rays. Coverage begins at 12:30 with the Chevy pregame. Then we're back here in the Bronx for the call right here on Yes. Or if you're at work and can't get to a TV, make sure you stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Make sure your boss isn't watching though. Here's Jake Bauers. Pitch outside from Gray. Two and 0.
You watch Sonny Gray and he gets 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning, and you start thinking if you're Austin Romine, here we go, and then misses badly with the first 2 pitches here to Bauers.
Strike. Two and 2. Bauers 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Top of the 6th in Philly. Red Sox and the Phils still tied at 3. Two. 3 and 2. Wendell on deck. .43 pitches for Gray. An inning and 2/3 of work. We're in the 6th. Ground ball to Gregorius. Gobbles it up. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sonny Gray as the Rays go down in order 1-2-3. And we are going to the bottom of the 6th. Destinations from New York City than any other airline. Good things come to those who go. Delta, keep climbing. And by Toyota, Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. I've never been able to solve that. You, John?
I've only been able to get one side.
Really?
Yeah.
There are people that do, it looks like this person's going to be able to do it. They're doing it with authority.
I'm shocked. A Fordham education, you can't figure that out?
No, no way. I have a hard time thinking in the abstract, John. And Duhar takes a strike from Yarbrough, his second inning of work. 6-1 Tampa Bay leads. And I got a piece of Perez. I think there's an active player that like solves that like within a minute. The Rubik's Cube. I can't remember who it is. There's a base hit right field. And Andujar, of course, is going for 2, and he'll make it. Another extra base hit. His 57th of the year.
Well, when you think of Andujar and his ability to hit, it's not just pulling the baseball. You see the rookie ranks, a lot of firsts there. He's just a good hitter, able to stay inside, let the ball travel, and fight it off the other way for another extra base hit. Line to line.
There's Greg Bird against Yarbrough. Player is Brian Dozier.
So he took his Rubik's Cube ability out to LA.
Mm-hmm. One and one. That some big league eating.
Got it all covered. We got a little beef down to the bottom left, a little lobster, shrimp,
a little lemon. As Bird goes down on strikes.
Take a look at Yarbrough and the big sweeping breaking ball, and Greg Bird just way out in front, waving, going down to one knee. Two good at bats last night, but he looks off balance tonight again.
Here's Neil Walker batting right-handed against the lefty. Grounded foul. One and two on Walker. Walker 0 for 1 was also hit by a pitch. And that hit by a pitch loaded the bases for the Yankees with one out in the fourth, but Romine struck out looking, and Torreyes, a slow roller to third, initially called safe at first, but a challenge, and it was overturned correctly. 1-2. Still 1-2. Two balls, two strikes. Runner at second, one man out. Fly ball right field. Smith will make the play. Two away. Romine's music certainly not easy listening. Gets the stadium rocking as he comes up to the plate. Austin's 0 for 2. One and 0.
I get the feeling like the Yankee crowd would like to root for something tonight. You have the Andujar home run. The pitching hasn't been great. Sessa struggled. Pace has been slow.
Ground ball to Duffy. And he gets Romine for the final out. So the leadoff double is wasted. Yankees strand one. We go to the seventh. By T-Mobile, I'm going to look at the American League West standings. Come on, nobody thought this was going to happen. Astros besieged by injuries, and then the Athletics just took off. So they're a game and a half behind Houston, and right there, the Mariners 3 games behind the A's. Just an amazing turn of event. And, you know, Bob Melvin is really a good manager.
Bob Melvin is under the radar a really good manager,
Yep.
right? I mean, developing young players, kind of instilling confidence, and also using the analytics. They got a really good bullpen out there in Oakland.
I mean, they're winning with Trevor, Cahill, Edwin Jackson in the rotation.
That's the question, right? Can they compete with Houston in that division with that rotation?
Cadillac scoreboard 6-1 Tampa Bay over the Yankees. And, you know, the Yankees should be very interested who wins that division, because the Yankees make the wild card. They play the one who doesn't win that division. And do you want it to be Houston with Justin Verlander pitching?
Charlie Morton,
Garrett Cole.
I guess you can say the same thing about Houston as the New York Yankees, right? You want to get healthy here coming into the month of September and make a run at it.
Yankees hoping to get him back. Been working out here at the stadium. We gave you the latest information on Judge. 2-2. I talked to Jorge Posada today, who, by the way, just came out and said, I'm ready to go back to baseball.
He did.
Yeah. He said, I'm not going to go out looking for a job, but if somebody offers me a job, I'm ready. He said, it's time.
On the field or front office, or did he specify?
Did
Whatever
not
he's open
specify.
to any. Wow,
Yeah.
good for him.
And then we got into what he thinks might be a problem with Gary Sanchez in the receiving part. Obviously the throwing's great and the hitting is what everybody expects to be, lower average. But he said, I think now by watching him, he said the mental became the physical. He said now he hears everybody talking about his catching. He said you could see his knee is bent when it shouldn't be bent. He's going down when he shouldn't be going down. He says there's a lot of things you see that obviously are a little bit problematic, and it probably started with just a little mechanical thing, then it became a mental thing, and then the mechanical thing becomes worse.
There's the numbers you talked about. The batting average, not what we're used to seeing, but the production has been there. Listen, I was talking a little bit about Gleyber Torres last night, and when you come to the big leagues and it's you get off to a good start, it's easy, right? And with Gary Sanchez, when he came to the major leagues, catching was easy for him, and then all of a sudden you kind of go through some struggles, and the grind of being an everyday big league catcher over a long season kind of catches up with you, and you get into some bad habits.
And that's the exact thing he said when he first came up. These weren't problems because they weren't on his mind. They never even entered his thought process. Now they're in there.
No, your thought process is, I'm in the big leagues, this is great, and I'm playing well, and you're excited every day, and then all of a sudden the grind. You hear players talk about the grind all the time, and it's a physical grind over 162, but a lot of times it's more mental.
Jorge will be back for the big reunion of the 1998 team. And they'll have an on-field ceremony on Saturday. So that should be a lot of fun. Most of that team is coming back to say hello. There's Gleyber Torres having the day off tonight. Last 25 games, it's hard to believe that a guy like Gleyber Torres with that swing is hitting 189. But he has struggled.
So I would assume some 1998 players will be in the booth with you this weekend working, right?
Well, I know O'Neill is. And I think Cone.
Just makes sense.
Joe Torre's going to be back. Tino, Andy, Mo, Bernie, Posada.
That team was so good that playing against them, it felt like they were toying with you.
A kick to the right side by Gray probably turned that into a hit for Choi.
And sometimes as an athlete you just react and you try to make a play. It's exactly what happened here with Sonny Gray. He makes a good pitch. Choi off the end of the bat, and he just drops the foot in front of it. You see Didi would have been waiting for it, an easy play. Instead it's probably going to be an infield hit. And it is.
You know, all week on the radio show simulcast, we've been having members of the 98 team. And David Wells and Posada both said, we expected to win every game. We were really shocked when we lost. Shocked.
Well, I'll take that to another level, and I was part of the 1998 expansion Devil Rays, so obviously we had some deficiencies, but that Yankee team would come out in the first or second inning and just take it to you, and you were like down 4 or 5-0 already, and then it was almost like they'd put in cruise control for an inning or two, and if you showed any sign of life, they'd put the hammer back down again, and you were just done. I mean, you don't see teams that are able to do that, kind of like put the pedal to the metal, put it on cruise control, and then pick it up again.
And Posada spoke today that, you know, there was a crisis early. They were 1-4. And Joe Torre called a team meeting, and all the players got up and spoke, and there was too much outside noise and finger pointing, and just play together as a team and do what you do. And Posada thought that meeting kind of put them on that path.
I'm actually surprised to hear that Joe would have a meeting that early in the year, because playing for him for 3 years, he didn't have very many team meetings.
Well, there was a lot of outside noise, John, because remember they lost in the playoffs in '97, and then there was talk, would he get fired with a slow start? Runner goes. That one is right back to Gray, and he gets Kiermaier as Choi advances to second. Well, John, I could see why you thought so highly of that '98 Yankee team. The Rays were 1-11 against them in '98.
We won a game, huh? I remember the old Yankee Stadium coming in here as a visiting player against that '98 team, and it was, you know, boom, boom, boom. You were done. You had no chance to compete, and you knew it after about an inning or two that your night was already over.
Here's Adames. Now, John Sterling and I did the games on radio then. And throughout the whole season, you know, we would look at each other and go, is this really happening? You just couldn't believe how great a team it was. So it gets celebrated this weekend, all weekend. So it'll be a fun couple of days as that whole group gets together. On-field ceremony on Saturday. 1-0. 2-0. Might have heard in the background, he announced attendance here at the stadium, 42,716. (3-0) to Adames. And he walks him on 4 pitches. Well, after a big win last weekend in Toronto, NYCFC is back on Yes this Saturday for another tough road test against the Philadelphia Union. Coverage will begin at 7 o'clock, presented by Etihad Airways. It's right here on Yes, and NYCFC is only 1 point behind Atlanta for the top spot in the Eastern Conference and the best record in all of Major League Soccer. And here is Lau. So what do you think of Gray? What are you seeing so far, John? Anything different?
It's a battle, right?
Yeah.
I'm big on watching location and where Austin Romine is setting up and where the ball ends up, and it's still kind of all over the place. 65 pitches.
Grounded to third, and Duhar makes the throw and makes the play for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. It's Tampa Bay 6 and the Yankees 1. But we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his family. United States Army Private First Class Lawrence Cordero from Manchester, New Jersey, who served in World War II. Let me say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith-Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees are down 6-1. Yarbrough still in there, and Torreyes will lead off. Cadillac scoreboard 6-10-0, leading 1-5-0. Popped up right side. And an over-the-shoulder catch by Bowers for the first out. Time for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 6-10-0, leading 1-5-0. Faria started for the Rays, lasted 1 out into the 4th. Same deal with Sessa. Faria was more effective. Malak Smith, a 2-run home run. That's eventually what knocked Sessa out of the game. Miguel Andujar, the only run for the Yankees, a solo home run against Faria. Here's Gardner. Gardner's 1 for 3. One and 0. Wave and a strike 3 as Gardner goes down. We go back to Ryan Ruocco. He has another update from the studio. Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Back here at 6-1 Rays, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, and here's Stanton. Doubled his last time up, and that was against Yarbrough. Yarbrough came on to start the 5th inning, so this is his 3rd inning of work. One and 1. One and 2.
It'll be interesting if Aaron Boone can get Stanton back in the field defensively before that Miami Marlins series. Keep his bat in the lineup. Still dealing with a little tight hamstring.
It's such a precarious situation it would solve a lot of things if you could put him in right field, but you cannot afford to have him blow out that leg because they can't afford to lose him in the lineup. Swing and a miss. Yankees go down in order against Yarbrough. He's retired 6 in a row, and we're going to the 8th inning. 6-1, Tampa Bay. Well, Sonny Gray out to pitch the 8th inning. Hyundai scoreboard, 6-1 Tampa Bay. Gray, his 4th inning of work. And he'll deal to Perez. You know, we were talking about that 98 team, and you know, you just marvel at how the Red Sox don't lose a game, although they're trailing right now to Philly. The Red Sox are on pace for 115 wins, and the Yankees had 114 wins that regular season. But ground ball is short, one away. At this point in the season, after this many games, the Yankees were on pace for 122 wins. And then they really stumbled for about 2 weeks in the middle of September. They finished strong, but in 2 weeks in the middle of September, they just couldn't do it. And Joe Torre held another meeting. This one, players didn't talk, he did. He said, you just can't turn it on and off. He said, we can't go into the playoffs and expect to be what we are. We got to start playing like that. And Posada said today that a big reason that happened was, you know, they were trying to protect the starters and they were playing people that were called up from the minors. And he said we just weren't in the lineup every single day.
But I just said that team seemed like they could turn it on and turn it off during a game, and Joe Torre disagreed with me. He didn't have to catch against that team.
But you know what's interesting? In a way, you were both right, is that one is laced into left center field. And Smith is going to have himself a double because once he had that meeting, they turned it on. So maybe they would have turned it on when the bell rung for the playoffs. Who knows? But it did cost him a chance to win about 120 games in the regular season.
And we were just talking, we were reminded that was El Duque's first year, right?
Yep.
And I remember being a part of the Devil Rays when we came in here, and I didn't play that night. But we're, you know, this Cuban guy is going to pitch, and I'm sitting in the dugout like, you got to be kidding me. They got another stud pitcher to help them out.
And he won the biggest game of the postseason when they were down 2-1 to the Indians. He was just brilliant. And the reason he got a chance is because David Cone tried to pet his mom's little dog. And the dog nipped at his finger and he couldn't make the start. And they brought El Duque into the rotation. I always ask David, is that a true story? I mean, does this dog actually? He said, yes. It's really what happened. I'm sure they would have found a way to get El Duque into the rotation at some point. That year, David Wells won 18-4.
Now, listen, you got to do your part to win 18 games, but Boomer threw strikes with every pitch, and with that lineup,
yep.
I mean, that's just a recipe to have a big year.
He casually says on the radio the other day, he goes, I think Mo like blew 4 or 5 wins for me. Foul back by Duffy, 2-1.
Bringing back nightmares. I just remember mentally being so fatigued trying to get through that lineup. It was just relentless. And then you got to the end where Brocious was hitting ninth.
I think he had 99 ribbies, right?
I mean, mentally you couldn't keep your focus if you were starting pitcher-catcher combination as Green getting loose in the Yankee bullpen. And then you get to the bottom of the order and they would beat you up.
And that's the difference right now between this Yankee offense and when they were rolling. Because when you have Judge and Sanchez in the lineup, all of a sudden batting ninth was Gleyber Torres and batting seventh or eighth was Miguel Andujar. So there was no rest spot for anybody. (3-1) and a walk to Duffy. Now a quick word from Spectrum.
Spectrum Internet. No data caps, no contracts. Just faster speeds with better performance.
You saw Aaron Boone gave the signal to Romine to talk with Gray because they want to give Chad Green more time to warm up. I always wondered, you get the signal from the manager, the pitcher sees what's going on. Do you even say anything out there?
Yeah, no, I would go out there and say, listen, Aaron told me to come out and talk to you. You give the bullpen a little time.
By the way, Brocious had 98 ribbies, not 99. And by the way, it's his 52nd birthday today. So happy birthday to Scott Brocious. All coming together. So the signal is made to the bullpen. Sonny Gray gave the Yankees 3 1/3 out of the bullpen tonight. Back here at the stadium, the Rays with runners on first and second with one man out in the 8th inning. They lead 6-1. And Chad Green comes on. So Green will face Jake Bauers. Bauers is 0 for 3 with a walk. Big cut, 0-1.
Well, Chad Green pitched on Monday through a scoreless 5th inning against the Mets. You see the numbers for Sonny Gray, 3 1/3, 4 hits. He walked 3. He was kind of all over the place, but gave the Yankees 3 1/3.
Runners go. Throw to third. Not in time. Double steal.
Oh, he mentioned the speed game, a big part of Tampa Bay's offense, and Smith with 26 stolen bases steals it easily. No chance for Austin Romine.
And they're going to challenge?
See if he came off the bag, because clearly he beat it.
Yep, he was off the bag at that point when the glove was on the thigh, so I see what they're doing. And I think Smith knew it too. Let's see, right there. There's no contact and he's out. And he is out. They've overturned it. I'll tell you what, works out for the Yankees, John, but is that really the spirit of the replay rule?
Technically he's out, but you're right. I mean, he beat it by so much and he came off the bag a little bit. The Yankees will take advantage of that, but not the spirit of the replay situation.
2-2. That pitch was 96 miles an hour. The Fast Pitch Speed Analytics, sponsored by Fios by Verizon. Strike three. Bauers down looking. No runs. One hit. One man left. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Bottom of the eighth inning. Hicks, Gregorius, and Andujar. Yarbrough still in there. Hyundai scoreboard 6-1 Tampa Bay. And 2 on Hicks. Hicks got an infield single in the first inning, then grounded to first in the third, fly ball to right in the fifth. One and 2. Along with John Flaherty and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us here on Yes, as the Rays lead the Yankees 6-1. Soft ground ball right side. Bauers to Yarbrough. And he beats Hicks to the bag. One away. And Didi gets plunked.
You can see the spin on the breaking ball, and it just doesn't do much right in the back of the leg, the hamstring.
Here's Andujar, home run in the second, robbed of an extra base hit in dead center by Kiermaier in the fourth, and then a double to right in the sixth. Yankees looking for a jolt, hoping the rookie could give it to him. And that home run, let's look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum Internet with faster download speeds and better performance. 101 off the bat. Ground ball to third. Duffy, one, on to first. Not in time.
You think back to that home run from Andujar, a 3-1 count in the second inning, and he took advantage of a fastball, but he's been going up there hacking. And why not when you're as locked in as he is, hitting a lot of baseballs hard.
Oh, 0-1. Bird lofts one to left field. Lau is there, makes the play, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, one man left. We're going to go to the ninth inning, 6-1 Rays. Yankees may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Chad Green got the final 2 outs of the 8th inning. And now he'll try to get 3 outs here in the 9th. Here's Joey Wendell, cleanup hitter, who's 0 for 4. Strike. Ground ball to first. Bird will take it himself and beats Wendell to the bag. 1 away. Here's Ji-Man Choi. Green throwing strikes, 0-1. Fly ball, right field. Walker makes the play, 2 down. And that'll bring up Kevin Kiermaier, who was 2 for 4. One and 0. Hit sharply on one hop. Torreyes makes the grab, and Green works a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? They're down 6-1. Post-game is Ryan, Jack, and Meredith bring you highlights and analysis from tonight's game. Plus, get the clubhouse reaction and the manager's report. It's only on Yes. Yankees have 3 outs to go, and they have to rally in a hurry. And they'll have to do it against Diego Castillo. Now, the winner, if the Rays hold on, will be up to the discretion of the official scorer, who is Howie Carpin.
Have to be Yarbrough.
It would be
wouldn't it?
Yarbrough, I would think. Because once the starter doesn't go 5, then it's not automatically, well, you're in there with a lead. The next guy gets the, because the next guy was Chaz Rowe, but Ryan Yarbrough is the one who pitched the most innings and was effective, and he would get the win if they hold on. So here's Neil Walker to start it off. Castillo deals. 1-0. Two and 0. The 2-0. 3-0. Isn't that what you want a reliever to do coming into the ninth inning with a 5-run lead?
The Yankees, if Castillo wants to help you out a little bit, obviously you have to be patient. Try to get a couple of base runners, make this thing interesting if you can get back to the middle of the order.
And a walk to Walker on 4 pitches.
Well, you'd expect Austin Romine to be taking until Castillo can prove he can throw a strike.
Four in a row out of the zone. There's a strike. Tap in front of the mound. The out is made at first as Walker goes to second. So Romine 0 for 4 tonight. Torreyes. Right back to Castillo. And they're 2 away. Yankees down to their final out. I'll tell you what, John, you talk about a lifeless performance, and you could see it rubbed off on the crowd as well. And you got to give credit to the Rays pitchers, but this is a game that seemed like it was played underwater.
Yeah, I'm just thinking those last 2 outs, a little off the end of the bat, 2 hoppers back to the pitcher has kind of been the way this game has been played tonight. And obviously Cessa had an opportunity here with a spot start and 7 days rest. It didn't go well for him.
And his next time up in the rotation is against Miami. Will they send him out there again, or because it's a game on the road against a bad team, would you try Sonny Gray?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions on that next opportunity. I mean, minor league pitchers.
Well, they decided Cessa over Chance Adams, who I thought didn't wilt in Boston.
Nope.
And Justice Sheffield. Now, Justice Sheffield pitched tonight and didn't pitch well for AAA. His first bad start in a while. Three and 0. And a walk to Gardner, so the Yankees still alive. So Snyder goes out to the mound to talk to Castillo. Now remember, with the 2 days off, they can maneuver the rotation that you don't have to use Cess. You don't have to stay in this rotation. They have Monday off and Thursday off. And then the next time this would come around, CC would be ready to go. That one gets away from Perez, and the runners move up. High drive, right field. Smith back on the track. He makes the play, and that'll be the game. So Stanton flirts with a 3-run home run, but just falls short, and the Yankees lose this one 6-1. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Mallex Smith makes a friend, and the Rays even this series at a game apiece. Big night for Smith with that home run. Tough night for Luis Cessa. And the Yankees won last night, and they lose this one 6-1, which turns tomorrow afternoon into the rubber game here in the Bronx. We'll come back to the stadium in a moment. Stay right where you are.